Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. as the vessel sponsor. 1, 2, 3. Thank you, Mr. President.
This achievement sends a clear message to the whole world. The Philippines is ready to lead in the global transition towards low carbon and sustainable maritime transport. This occasion not only celebrates the launching of a vessel, it is also a celebration of progress and of innovation. And above all, we celebrate the Filipino capacity to rise to the challenge of a rapidly changing world.
What does it say about a nation when its president stands on a shipyard floor, not to commission a warship, but to unveil a vessel designed for a cleaner future of global trade? On January 15, 2026, President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr. answered that question in Balamban, Cebu, as he officially named the Brave Pioneer, the world's first methanol dual-fuel Kamsarmax bulk carrier. It was a quiet moment by global standards, but one with long echoes for the Philippines' maritime identity. This was not just another ship launch. The Brave Pioneer is a tangible symbol of where global shipping is headed and where the Philippines intends to stand in that transition. Methanol dual-fuel technology places the vessel at the forefront of decarbonized maritime transport, addressing one of the shipping industry's most urgent challenges: reducing emissions without sacrificing scale or efficiency. Standing in a Cebu shipyard, with Filipino workers and engineers at the center of the project, the message was unmistakable. The Philippines is no longer just supplying manpower to the global maritime industry. It is helping shape its future. To grasp the significance, consider this. Bulk carriers of the Kamsarmax class are the workhorses of global trade, moving grain, coal, and raw materials across oceans. Traditionally, these ships have been powered by heavy fuel oil, a major contributor to maritime emissions.
The Kamsarmax vessel SC443 is designed to significantly reduce emissions of carbon dioxide, nitrogen oxide, and sulfur oxides. It places the Philippines firmly on the map as a future-ready maritime manufacturing hub.
By contrast, the Brave Pioneer's methanol dual-fuel capability aligns with emerging International Maritime Organization targets and the decarbonization strategies now being pursued by leading shipping nations. In practical terms, this ship bridges today's commercial realities with tomorrow's environmental demands. Only a handful of maritime powers have reached this level of technological integration. Japan and South Korea dominate advanced shipbuilding, while European states like Denmark and Norway lead in green shipping innovation. For the Philippines, long recognized as the world's top supplier of seafarers, but rarely as a site of technological firsts, the unveiling of the Brave Pioneer marks a strategic shift. It places the country in a more competitive, innovation-driven tier of the maritime ecosystem, not as a follower, but as an early mover in sustainable ship construction. More than steel and engines, the Brave Pioneer carries symbolic weight. It reflects national ambition, industrial capability, and a reimagining of the Philippines' maritime role in the 21st century. In an era where climate responsibility and economic competitiveness increasingly overlap, this ship signals that the Philippines is prepared not just to sail global waters, but to help redefine how the world sails them.
While this project is a product of bilateral cooperation, it is also, and very importantly, a showcase of Filipino craftsmanship, ingenuity, and competitiveness. It proves once again that what is made in the Philippines can stand shoulder to shoulder with the best of anywhere in the world.
The Brave Pioneer is not simply the product of a shipyard timeline or an isolated technological leap. It reflects a deliberate strategic vision about where the Philippines wants to position itself in the evolving global maritime economy. Under President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr., the project aligns closely with a broader agenda of industrial modernization and maritime development. one that recognizes shipping not just as transport infrastructure, but as a high-value industrial ecosystem. By embracing methanol dual-fuel technology, the Philippines is signaling a shift away from legacy shipbuilding models toward eco-efficient, future-ready platforms that meet the demands of a decarbonizing world. At the core of this vision is an ambition that goes beyond building a single pioneering vessel. The Brave Pioneer serves as a proof of concept for transforming the Philippines into a regional hub for sustainable maritime manufacturing. This transformation carries concrete economic implications. High-skilled job creation, deeper integration into global shipbuilding supply chains, and increased investment in engineering, materials science, and clean energy technologies. Rather than remaining a peripheral player supplying labor to foreign fleets, the Philippines is positioning itself as a site where advanced maritime solutions are designed, assembled, and tested. Crucially, this initiative reflects forward-looking governance that prioritizes measurable progress over symbolic gestures. The Brave Pioneer meets emerging international standards on emissions and fuel flexibility, aligning Philippine shipbuilding with global regulatory trajectories set by the International Maritime Organization and major shipping registries. In doing so, the project bridges national industrial goals with international maritime commitments, ensuring relevance in a sector where environmental compliance is rapidly becoming a prerequisite for competitiveness. In strategic terms, the vision behind the Brave Pioneer is about future-proofing. It acknowledges that maritime leadership in the 21st century will be defined not just by fleet size or manpower, but by innovation, sustainability, and technological credibility. By investing early in cleaner propulsion and advanced ship design, the Philippines is laying the groundwork for long-term industrial resilience, turning a single vessel into a marker of national direction rather than a one-off achievement.
The Brave Pioneer marks a historic first, not because it is new, but because it changes the rules of what has been possible in Philippine shipbuilding. At its core, the vessel is the world's first methanol dual-fuel Kamsarmax bulk carrier, a breakthrough that places it at the frontier of global maritime innovation.
By continuing to invest in green technologies and advanced manufacturing, we are shaping the Philippines into a future-ready maritime hub that can meet the evolving demands of global trade.
Unlike conventional ships locked into a single fossil fuel pathway, the Brave Pioneer can operate on both methanol and traditional marine fuel, giving operators flexibility while prioritizing a cleaner emissions profile. In an industry racing to meet tightening environmental regulations, this dual fuel capability is not just advanced, it is strategically essential. Scale makes this achievement even more striking. With a deadweight capacity of around 81,200 metric tons, the Brave Pioneer ranks among the largest bulk carriers ever built in the Philippines. Kamsarmax vessels are the backbone of global commodity trade, designed to carry massive volumes of grain, coal, and raw materials across continents. Producing a ship of this size and complexity locally signals a maturation of Philippine shipbuilding capacity, from support and assembly toward high-end, technologically sophisticated construction that meets international commercial and regulatory standards. What truly elevates the Brave Pioneer from impressive to unprecedented is its environmental performance. Compared to conventional bulk carriers, the vessel is engineered to cut carbon dioxide emissions by around 10%, reduce nitrogen oxides by up to 80%, and slash sulfur oxides by as much as 99%. These are not marginal improvements. They represent a structural shift toward compliance with the International Maritime Organization's decarbonization targets and the expectations of climate-conscious charterers and ports worldwide. For a country whose maritime reputation has long rested on manpower rather than manufacturing, this is a decisive leap into value-added innovation. The combination of global-first fuel technology, large-scale commercial design, and measurable emissions reduction sets the Brave Pioneer apart as more than a national milestone. It is an international reference point, proving that advanced, green shipbuilding is no longer confined to traditional powerhouses like Japan, South Korea, or Northern Europe. For the Philippines, this vessel does not merely add to maritime history. It redefines the country's role within it, shifting the narrative from participation to leadership in the next era of global shipping.
This achievement sends a clear message to the whole world. The Philippines is ready to lead in the global transition towards low carbon and sustainable maritime transport.
President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr. framed the unveiling of the Brave Pioneer not as a ceremonial milestone, but as a strategic declaration of national direction. His message was unambiguous. The Philippines does not intend to remain on the margins of the global energy transition. As he stated during the ceremony, this achievement sends a clear message to the whole world. The Philippines is ready to lead in the global transition toward low-carbon and sustainable maritime transport. In a sector often slow to change, that statement positioned the country as an active shaper of outcomes, rather than a passive adapter to global rules.
It is especially vital as we move towards green shipping, an approach that embraces cleaner fuels, optimized vessel design, improved energy management, and sustainable shipping corridors.
What gives this leadership narrative credibility is its grounding in execution, not rhetoric. The Brave Pioneer exists because presidential vision was translated into policy support, industrial coordination, and sustained engagement with the private sector. By championing strategic partnerships, most notably the joint venture between Japan's Tsuneshi Group and the Philippines' Aboitiz Group, PBBM demonstrated how state leadership can catalyze high-impact industrial outcomes without crowding out private initiative. The result is a model of cooperation where global technology and local expertise reinforce each other. Equally important is the symbolism embedded in this partnership. Tsuneshi brings decades of world-class shipbuilding experience, while Aboitiz anchors the project in Filipino enterprise, labor, and long-term national interest. Together, they showcase Filipino engineers, technicians, and shipyard workers operating at the cutting edge of maritime technology. This is leadership expressed through capability building, ensuring that innovation is not imported whole, but absorbed, adapted, and eventually advanced domestically. In this sense, the Brave Pioneer reflects more than presidential support for a single ship. It signals a broader industrial and strategic posture. By aligning executive vision with sustainability, technology transfer, and global standards, President Marcos has used maritime development as a platform to articulate what national progress looks like in the 21st century: competitive, collaborative, and forward-looking. Names matter in maritime history. They carry intent, identity, and aspiration. And Brave Pioneer is doing heavy narrative lifting. Brave speaks to deliberate risk-taking in an industry known for conservatism. Choosing methanol dual-fuel technology is not the safest or cheapest path in the short term, but it is the courageous one in a world racing toward decarbonization. It signals a willingness to confront climate realities, regulatory pressure, and global competition head-on, rather than wait for change to be imposed from outside. Pioneer, meanwhile, situates the Philippines not as a follower, but as a pathfinder. Pioneers move first, absorb early costs, and shape standards others later adopt. That framing aligns cleanly with the country's emerging role in green maritime technology. Not yet dominant, but increasingly influential. Together, the name mirrors a deeply Filipino ethos: resilient under pressure, adaptive to change, and quietly ambitious. In a global system demanding sustainable solutions, Brave Pioneer becomes both identity and intent made of steel. At the sectoral level, the Brave Pioneer lands as a proof of concept moment. By successfully integrating methanol dual-fuel propulsion,
the vessel demonstrates that low-emission shipping is no longer theoretical or limited to niche pilot projects. It aligns directly with International Maritime Organization decarbonization targets, offering shipowners a viable compliance pathway without sacrificing scale or operational efficiency. More importantly, it repositions Philippine shipbuilding. For decades, the country was associated primarily with ship repair, retrofitting, and labor-intensive services. Building and certifying a technologically advanced Kamsarmax bulk carrier to global standards marks a transition into high-value manufacturing. That shift matters. It changes how insurers, classification societies, shipping lines, and financiers perceive Philippine yards, not as peripheral suppliers, but as credible builders of next-generation vessels. The ripple effect is real. Dual-fuel adoption on this scale creates templates for future regional fleets, particularly in Asia, where bulk carriers dominate trade. In that sense, Brave Pioneer is not just a ship, it's a reference point. Economically, the Brave Pioneer unlocks momentum well beyond its hull. Sustainable vessels increasingly qualify for green bonds, sustainability-linked loans, and climate finance instruments, lowering capital costs and widening investor interest. This financial advantage positions Philippine-built green vessels more competitively in global markets, where emissions metrics now affect charter rates and insurance premiums. Shipbuilding is also intensely labor-absorptive. Projects of this complexity require skilled welders, naval architects, systems engineers, quality controllers, and logistics specialists. Over time, that demand deepens domestic skills, strengthens supplier ecosystems, and accelerates technology diffusion across allied industries such as steel processing, electronics, and marine systems integration. Geographically, hubs like the West Cebu Estate gain strategic relevance. Export-oriented, infrastructure-ready zones anchored by world-class yards amplify the Philippines' attractiveness to foreign investors seeking politically stable, technically capable, and sustainability-aligned production bases. That's long-term development, not short-term optics.
While the Brave Pioneer is a commercial vessel, its strategic implications extend into national security. Maritime capability is cumulative. Each advance in shipbuilding technology raises the country's overall maritime competence baseline, from design knowledge to systems integration and maintenance capacity. Secure, climate-resilient shipping underpins sovereignty in practice, not just on paper. Reliable fleets strengthen trade continuity, protect sea lines of communication, and reinforce the Philippines' role in safeguarding critical maritime corridors. Indirectly, these capabilities complement ongoing naval modernization efforts, ensuring that civilian and defense maritime sectors evolve in parallel rather than in silos. In today's Indo-Pacific, where economic security and maritime security increasingly overlap, that convergence matters. Domestically, the unveiling of the Brave Pioneer struck a nerve in the best way. Cebu Governor Pamela Baracuatro's remarks captured a widely shared sentiment. Pride not just in the vessel, but in the people behind it. Local craftsmanship, technical discipline, and collective effort were suddenly visible on a global stage.
This partnership has helped Balamban transform into the country's shipbuilding capital and enabled the Philippines to compete globally. Anchored by PHI, the West Cebu Estate has been central to the Philippines' position as the world's fourth largest shipbuilder by gross tonnage.
Industry stakeholders echoed this mood, framing the project as evidence that Filipino ingenuity scales, that it can meet and even set international benchmarks. In a national discourse often shaped by external dependency narratives, the Brave Pioneer offered something refreshing: confidence grounded in achievement. In the final analysis, the Brave Pioneer is far more than a ship. It is a strategic signal that the Philippines is serious about innovation, sustainability, and industrial relevance in a rapidly transforming maritime order. It brings together presidential vision, private sector execution, global technology, and Filipino talent into a single, tangible outcome. By choosing to lead rather than wait, to build rather than merely service, and to innovate rather than imitate, the Philippines is charting a new national course. The Brave Pioneer sails not only across oceans, but across narratives, marking a shift from capability doubt to capability confidence. And that, honestly, is the kind of momentum that lasts.
If you found this analysis valuable, share your perspective in the comments. Your insights help deepen the conversation and sharpen our understanding of evolving regional dynamics. Thank you, and we will see you soon in our next geopolitical discussion.